Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
Going, everybody.
Back to talk Vanderpump Rules, part one of our now Vanderpump Rules double headers here on Tuesday nights. This is season 11, episode 9, Kiss Kiss Revenge Bang. Phew. Brian, this was a Vanderpump episode. This was vintage Vanderpump. There was messiness, there were rumors, there were the rumors being blasted right out there to the group, them happening at Sir. I had a lot of feels here for the episode. Obviously, the revenge bang being Katie with Max, former Tom Tom manager and cast member for that one season on Vanderpump Rules. I guess that was probably what, season 9, probably something like that.
Think
Season 9,
so.
8 or 9, I think it was
Yeah.
9 of Vanderpump Rules. Total dweeb, total punk move. Uh, Shout out to Brock. I don't know. There's probably gonna be a division of that online. I think it was total fair game to share that news, honestly. And a lot of other stuff. Sandoval involved in a lot of things. He tries to talk to Ariana. Brian, I want to kind of know, like, what's on the top of your mind after watching this episode.
There's a lot of things on my mind, and I know a lot of these things are going to be what the public doesn't want to hear, but I really liked all the things that happened. I like that Brock was blowing up Katie's spot. I like that um the La, even though like Lala is still like she's like the anti-hero. I feel like some one minute she does something dumb, the next minute she does something that's interesting. But I like that she kind of is like getting involved with Sandoval because I know it's pissing Ariana off and everyone else off, and I like that because I want the show to be interesting, and that finally things are happening, which is why I thought this episode was probably the best of the season. But I mean, I think we just run. I mean, I have something to say about every single moment on the show, and I'm sure you do too. So I mean, I think we just run it, piss a couple people off who maybe made it this far, and tell us how much we like dog killers and all these other made up bullshit. I'm not going to take the credit from you, but you said something pre-show that I want you to how you view the fans of the show, and I think it's like honestly spot on.
Well, oh yeah. Uh, we're gonna get to that in a second here. So Brian kind of teased out a few things. I mentioned Sandoval, so I think let's kind of run through the Sandoval through line, the Ariana through line of the episode. Basic through line of this episode was that there was a incident where Tom had to go into the master bedroom, aka Ariana's room, apparently to mess with some vents or some sort of thing like that. Their dog, who's known to eat things, got into the room. Sandoval accidentally locks him in the room, which leads to him eating a bunch of Ariana's left out takeout food, I guess, from the night before. It turns into a big thing where she's saying he's a dog killer. She had to get an endoscopy, which is a scope, saying it's cost $6,000.
Mm.
Um, that sounds like Hollywood, West Hollywood inflation. I have pets. Sounds like a $500 thing. But again, I am not saying she's making that up. Like it could be getting ripped off in some, celebrity vet. So that may be the case. Um, but again, another just prime example, Brian, of like, why are you still living there? Lala brings it up again without us having to say it and coming off like a-holes. There are plenty of brand deals you've been making. You can afford an apartment. And again, as a pet owner, that kind of crap happens. Frankly, throw your takeout out, man. Like you just shouldn't be living in the same place anymore. Like it's just so crazy. And he tries to talk to her. She says, "My lawyers have it." It's like you can talk to the guy. Like divorced parents who hated each other for decades still speak.
No, I agree. I mean, my parents are divorced. They hated each other. I don't know if they still hate each other the way they used to, but I mean, they still had to talk because they have kids. I mean, technically, a dog is essentially a kid. So I'm very surprised that they don't even communicate that. Like, if she leaves and like, who's taking the dog out? Like, hey, did you take the dog out? Like, are they talking to Anne at 1 in the morning when they get home? Like, hey, did you take the dog out? I just think that I don't know. I'm not. I mean, it's annoying that part, but I think I'm more annoyed at the fans online. Is honestly what I'm most annoyed about. Is these people that just like they run with something and it's just like insane. Like they when I understand that you hate somebody, because I mean Tom Sandoval's a piece of shit. I totally get that.
Yeah.
But like to say online that he is just like a dog killer and stuff like that, I just think is just is really reaching.
What's been happening with this and I think like Brian's pointing out, I'll get to it now. And I think it's what our Really, our issue has almost been with the whole season and the reaction months now, year, almost a year post Sandoval getting there. We're going to get there at that point, right? Is that it's okay now at some point to go back and start enjoying Tom Sandoval as a character on Vanderpump Rules. Or better yet, even it's okay to still like Lala or still like Sheena if they choose to spend time with Sandoval. Things are starting to become like politics with Vanderpump viewers. It is really like if you are not fully Team Ariana, and that means scorched earth with anyone who speaks to him, then you're an asshole and you're part of the problem. It's like, well, then, like, I can't roll with that. I'm watching a reality TV show. It's an ensemble cast. I want them to intermingle. I do not want every single thing they do for the rest of the show's history have to point of the conversation. Everything we do is have to be like Tom and them, and who's standing on one side, who's standing on the other side, and it's like it's got to end at some point, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is what is it like a few months after it actually
Yeah,
happened,
no, of course.
but I and you can have your boundaries, totally get that. But at the end of the day, this is essentially their job. I know that I'll probably get killed for that, but
It is their job.
like I don't have a problem with her ignoring him when he comes up and talks to her. That the thing, like she can do that. And I thought that was funny, but like
Me too.
those things are totally fine with me. But like the dog thing, where you're not like I can't even communicate to you, and you live in the same house, and you have like essentially like I said, a kid, which is a dog. You got to talk a tiny bit, and I mean like I don't know. It's just hard for me to take it seriously because like I don't know, man. This thing is dumb.
Um, the something about her redo the sandwich tasting. They are the same sandwiches, the same place, it's the same people. Lala points that out. Very funny. We kind of got the DVR edit they had there on the bottom, and they did the Vanderpump again. Great editing job this episode. Even how it ended with the black and whites kind of fuzzy on all the people and why they're full of shit. It was
Mhm.
honestly, it was a mwah. It was a great edit for this episode.
Why
Uh,
is Tom Schwartz there though? That's what I think. Like, I mean, you got Ariana saying and Katie like we don't like this dude, but then Tom Schwartz is at your redo of tasting. I mean, I'm sorry, that's a bunch of bullshit. If you're claiming these like hard stances of a line, but why does he show up with flowers? He's the only one that brought a gift.
yeah, because he knows he was a bad husband, but the fact of the matter is he's like again, he is doing his best to normalize. He's a dope. And but the fact is and we even see here with Katie, like, okay, we find out about Schwartz and Sheena making out 12 years ago while Katie and Schwartz were dating. Obviously shitty. He's admitted to doing that multiple times while they were dating. I think that she had every right to go talk to Sheena and be like, hey, that's kind of weird, right? Like, that's not cool. She said it's
Totally.
not cool. But then she loses me, and she loses, I think, a lot of people, even my wife included, sitting there watching what she's ragging on and ragging on and ragging on about it and ragging on about it. And then coming to find out that she's not sticking to girl or bro code or anything. It's just make your point, leave it be. But I frankly, like, I don't think she's ever really liked Sheena. She never has treated her well. And I always think she looks for like a baby mistake or anything. And now she's going to take something from 12 years prior and apply it to now and distance herself from Sheena, where it's like Sheena loses her hardcore this episode with all the stuff that happens.
Well, she didn't need to admit that she did it. Like she was trying to make herself look like, well, he kissed me. And I'm like, well, it takes two people to kiss. So
Yeah, she's a
Katie
diva.
being mad at her at that point, I totally understand. Like, just
Yeah.
admit you did it. That's the problem with the show. Is no one admits that they did anything. But and then you were saying like we're in the minority. Like, oh, I think a lot of people are going to agree. I don't think a lot of people agree with what Katie. Like, people are like, Katie can do whatever she wants. She can fuck Max or whatever it is. And I'm like, I think it's just a wash.
Me too. Just let it be. Just keep the
No, but
status
they
quo.
won't. They won't. I don't. I mean, so far, I don't think.
She's
I
gonna
mean,
get real mad at him.
I know Tom and Katie are going to talk next episode, which I think they should talk because I mean, based off of what we've seen as viewers, Tom hasn't had sex with anybody. He's just kissed a few people. I mean, he was a pawn in the Rachel one, and then I guess he. I mean, the Joe stuff is also just ridiculous. I mean, there's so much ridiculous stuff, and
It's too much people pleasing.
you
And
just watch it. People just watch this show with lenses, and like I think we just need to understand that. But like,
oh, for sure.
yeah, it's crazy. These
Um,
guys don't know anything, though. They don't know anything.
one other funny point I want to point out before kind of get out to the closing points here, as it is weird that Sheena collects all those locations.
How many locations do you follow on your phone?
I think one.
Ooh, I got like 20.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't know.
All my friends, we have we have everyone's location.
Hmm, that's cool.
It's very helpful for group events. I will say when you're out like when I go out with my friends, I like to party, so like people get separated, so it is useful. But like I'm not using it like that. The way that Sheen is using it is weird
Yeah, no, for
at
sure.
their age, but
It is funny.
I can relate a little bit to it. Like it is weird the way she's talking about it. Like I'm not over here collecting pelts of, hey, let me share your location with me. I have these for a reason.
That's great. Fifth, Brian, I thought this was a great Vanderpump episode, and frankly, doubled up with I thought a good Valley episode as well. So
We
quality.
need to talk about Brock.
No, I said I think I started that earlier that I think Brock's great. I think Brock's
Oh,
been a truth teller. I think I have no problems with anything Brock has said. We're done this whole season from wanting to help healthy boundaries and separation from the kid to have their own time to wanting to kind of be able to have that time to start his career back up again so he doesn't have this reputation that he has as a deadbeat. And frankly, it's like open season. Everyone else's secrets on that show are open season and talked about. So why would that when they were all there and saw it? It's not like he heard it and passed it along. They saw it happening, and his wife is the one that told him. So I thought it was I thought it was a fair move.
I mean, he's to me is like the only one who's like really cashing the checks from the show. Like if he's actually getting paid, like he's creating situations that you would normally see on any reality TV show, but like they want to like skirt things out of the rug that involve some of the cast members, but not the other ones. And it's
Yeah, hey,
I like. I mean, I think Allie and Brock are the MVPs of the season so far. Like Allie's being a mediator for Joe. None of them are listening. They're still talking mad shit about Joe, and then
Joe's
Ariana's like on
harmless. They're
in a
just that's
confessional
why.
saying it's okay to like talk shit about her. I'm just like, this is
No,
just
it's
it's
not.
just getting ridiculous. But
Joe's harmless, beyond harmless. She's not vindictive and all this crap. Katie's just scoring. I don't want to hear anything from Katie, honestly, and that kind of thing. Katie has always been more mean than nice to people, frankly.
mhm, mhm.
Um, yeah, I think Brock is gained enough credibility now with them. He hasn't screwed any of them over, frankly, too. So he's got that. And he's just been able to basically not be the source of any kind of controversy with them. And there is a double standard a lot of times held. And I think he's not going to let something like that slide where like he would want to know that, right? It is like an ex-wife, like you said, and that guy dude worked for Tom and apparently still hangs out with him actively. So that is a
Yeah,
messed up thing.
yeah, and he's like he also called out Sandoval like 2 weeks ago. Like he was the one who got out in when they're on that little gondola or whatever it
Yeah,
was. Like no one else has really done that besides Lala. So
it's crazy.
it's just funny. The cherry picking
The
is just
season of Brock.
the picking is just very funny to me, and just man, you can laugh out loud at some of these delusional people on the hashtag pump rules is comedy hour.
I agree. Um, yeah. So I think great episode. I from what Andy Cohen said, there's that quote going around from him on his radio show because he had to do the reunion, so he got to watch the back episode, like 7 episodes, like we said, and he said that the back 7 is very strong. So this would be the second of those 7. So
Mhm.
I agree. These last 2 have been the best 2 episodes by far.
Agree.
So, um, like and subscribe. We are covering a ton of Bravo stuff, including The Valley, which will be the review that comes out the morning after this review. So make sure you are set up and hit the notification bell. Comment, let us know what you think, tell your friends, and we appreciate it. But for myself, Brian, everyone at the Reality Guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace.